Today we've got something rather special. The Club World Cup, a reformatted Club World Cup, a new adventure to go on to South Korea, and it's also a transfer special. I have no idea how I turned this into a video, so today it's a bit of an experiment. Of course, it does go without saying, if you didn't see yesterday's episode, it was the end of the Premier League season. What a finale it was. 4 matches live. Gonna assume you watched it by now. Of course, we are now Premier League champions. We don't exactly have the most spectacular of transfer budgets today. £37 million, £5 million wage budget. We've got about £350,000 excess. It does mean if I want to do any wheeling and dealing, I might need to sell some players on. To kick things off today, we have got our end of season review for the 2024-25 season. Before we dive into this though, let's run the intro. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Chelsea. I don't know if this is the start of Season 3 or the end of Season 2. I guess it's technically the end, because here we are on our little review where Lucas Perry picked up signing of the season, which I don't know about you, I absolutely adore. This guy, what a revelation he was in goal. He didn't get the Golden Glove award for most clean sheets in the Premier League. He did come second place though, 16 clean sheets in 37 games. Really is not too shabby. Elsewhere, of course, a whole host of other transfers made. Evan Ferguson was our top goal scorer this season. I don't necessarily know if he reflected his price tag with his performances this year, but you know what? He's 20, he's one for the future. We're going to show some patience. Of course, in terms of transfers out, Kai Havertz left the club for £57 million. We got given a C- for that. In my defence, he only got 2 goals and 1 assist. He only started 9 games for Real Madrid, which for £57 million doesn't necessarily feel like value for money. And a man who I certainly struggled to get a tune out of was Enzo Fernandez, labelled as a world-class midfielder. 2 goals, 4 assists, 6.98 rating for Bayern in the second half of the season. Another, dare I say, uninspiring transfer by a team, obviously by the player from us. I think genius to sell him personally. In fact, of all the players we let go, the player who had the best season was Ruben Loftus-Cheek, tearing it up in Saudi Arabia, 10 assists, 4 goals, 40 games, 7.65 average rating. This should hopefully be fresh in your memory, but we did win the Premier League in case you missed it. A+ rating from the board, things you love to see. Top goal scorer in the Premier League, Reece James. Yeah, weird. Inverted wingers on attack, overpowered? ? No idea. Of course, in the Champions League, we were knocked out by Man City. The board were really disappointed by that, but we did get a pretty difficult draw. Man City, definitely one of the best teams in the competition. If you're wondering, who won the Champions League, Jack? Great question. I don't have the answer for you yet. In fact, this game takes place in 11 days, but it'll be Liverpool or Real Madrid. In the FA Cup, we were knocked out by Manchester United, but let's not forget, we did win the Carabao Cup. Suck it, Manchester City. Suck it, Arsenal. And of course, we did also play Ipswich, who we did loan a load of our players to. You can see here, looking at their end of season run-in, they got automatic promotion from the Premier League. So shout out to Ipswich, our honorary affiliates. Datro Fofana, top goal scorer in the whole championship for them. And, well, he is perhaps the reason they got promoted. From a financial point of view, obviously we got a lot of sponsorships last year. We didn't quite get as many sponsorships this year. Less broadcast revenue, which is a little bit of a surprise, but elsewhere, money up across the board. We did win Manager of the Month on 4 occasions, and I won Manager of the Year, which always feels nice. Ansu Fati set a record for assists in a season with 14. Lucas Perry, most clean sheets, 21 in all competitions. Elsewhere, you can see the other award winners. Reece James was Fans Player of the Season. Arda Güler won Young Player of the Season. And yeah, to be honest, it was a pretty good year, weren't it? I had a great year, and the supporters had a great year as well. Even if the fair-weathered fans are growing, we grew our social media following, and as you can see here, we really did achieve all of our goals that we had for the most part this year, including, perhaps most importantly, playing attacking football, which is kind of amusing, as I don't feel like until the end of the season we truly started to play our best attacking football, but to end the year we were scoring goals for fun. We are going to hope that goal scoring for fun bleeds over into next season and the Club World Cup. Here are the objectives for the coming season: entertaining football, high-tempo football. They want us to qualify for the Champions League via Premier League finish, work towards repairing the club's financial damage has returned, and also reach the latter stages of the Champions League. Now, I do get to do the end of season meeting it. Lads, we are going to be back in 3 weeks, so you don't actually get much of a holiday, I'm afraid to say. Premier League objectives, we're going to get in the Champions League. They all love it. The squad are on an end-of-season break. Apparently, they're back on the 7th of July. Are they? Are that we play in June, so I hope they're not on holiday then. Our facilities have been downgraded. Yeah, they have decayed over time. To be honest, probably should be making a board request to improve these. Not sure it's going to be granted with the current finances. Oh, good old Todd, getting deja vu. £21 million injected. Maybe he'll inject a bit more before the season ticks over. In fact, it looks like he already has. Have we had more sponsorships, Todd? Is that what's happened? Sponsorships? Yes, sponsorships are back, everyone. £185 million in sponsorships. Love Todd. Now, I will confess, it's a bit awkward here. The transfer window doesn't open for a few weeks, so at this point, I'm just recording, sat in silence, mashing continue. But when World Cup stuff starts to happen, I'll let you know. Datro Fofana won the Championship Golden Boot Award, which is absolutely great, of course, promoted with Ipswich. Elsewhere, Andre Santos was smurfing. That is gaming terminology, just to be clear. It means you're playing at a rank below the rank you should be playing at and just, stomping on bad players, which is basically what he's been doing in the Championship. He's had a lovely time, hasn't he, playing for Hull City? I am looking at him now thinking, probably need to find a spot for him in the first team, even if it's just to be a bit of a super sub. I'm thinking about players I want to sell. Kind of need the transfer window to open and see who actually has interest in them. Okay, I need to register a squad for the Club World Cup. It can be a maximum of 30 players, which is basically our whole first team. I am just wondering, with this competition, can I register players like that I sign? Because the competition is just going on during the summer transfer window. For now, at least, I have just registered some of the younger players. Players like Gabriel Moscardo, who, again, I probably need to be trying to find a route into the first team for the 19-year-old. Echeverri as well will be registered. I suppose we can use the Club World Cup and maybe some of the easier games that we have as a chance to test some of our better younger players. With respect to Tigres, Wydad Casablanca and River Plate, you'd like to think that even our youngsters could give pretty good performances against this kind of caliber of team. I did mention it last episode as well. This competition is being hosted in South Korea. We are going to do some away days when the matches come around. Our first game is against Tigres, and it's at the Incheon Munhak Stadium, which I have absolutely no familiarity with whatsoever. I've never been to South Korea on Google Earth. I assume it exists. I also realised, if you've never watched a series before that I've done when I do away days, you're in for a treat later. You keep watching. Liverpool have won a Champions League against Real Madrid. As a Liverpool fan, that makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Darwin Núñez with 2 goals. Wonder if he would have scored more goals than Ferguson in our team if we'd signed him last summer. We've just got another £25 million in terms of TV and Champions League money. Suddenly our finances look quite good. 82 million in the positives. 300 million profit made this month. Of course, most of that was sponsorships. I did talk a little bit about it last season, but the whole sponsorships thing is basically a get-out-of-jail-free card. Of course, in real life, Caicedo set for Barcelona. No, he's not. No, he's not going to Barcelona. He's got 3 years left on his current contract. He's definitely not going to them. Of all the players I'd even consider selling, he's not one of them. Just looping back to my previous point, in Football Manager, there are different types of owners. Some of them are sugar daddies or tycoons, investors that put a load of money into their team. You think of your Man Cities, your Chelseas in some instances, and a certain type of sugar daddy, as they're named in game, is an underwriter, which is basically someone who will write off any debt that the club wraps up. Of course, in real life, owners can't just pump money in, but they do it through sponsorships, which means that they count as a financial fair play form of income, rather than the actual owner investing money, which there is a limit on how much they can do. Football Manager basically copies that. I had Badiashile out on loan, and I told him if he got a 7.3 rating, he could come back and be in the first team. He got a 7.03. I will be looking to sell him in the summer. I wonder if there'll be much interest. I do feel like with the slew of talent that we've had out on loan last year, some of which are players I might look to sell, some of which is players I want to promote to the first team, we might have a fair amount of turnover in players this year, especially more kind of squad players, I suppose. If there's players in our team that are attracting interest and I feel like their values are inflated, wouldn't be afraid to sell them. Raheem Sterling, you're wanted by a Saudi Arabian club. Mr. Agent, do they want to make a bid? The Saudi transfer window's closed. I'll see them in July. Al Hilal are chasing Sterling. A bid of 97 million. Yeah, I would definitely consider that. Sterling had a really good start to the season and got 6 goals in 6 games. Didn't have a bad season by any means, but 97 million for a 30-year-old. I think it'd be silly not to consider. Also, because of how the Saudi teams work in Football Manager, if they bid that much, I'll ask them for 200 million and they'll probably pay it. So that would be nice. That's annoying. Fatty out for 5 to 6 weeks. Maybe I shouldn't sell Raheem Sterling. The transfer window's open. Apparently, Nkunku attracting interest from Barcelona. This man just won me the Premier League. Again, not for sale. With the transfer window opening, we have got a couple of players join us. Kendry Paez joins us, 18-year-old, actually set to join Chelsea in real life. He looks like a phenomenal attacking talent. Don't think I can actually register him for the Club World Cup. Elsewhere, Okayama is a Japanese regen that we've picked up. He has got an injury. He will be out for a little bit, although I say that. He'll literally be back in 2 weeks. It's not that bad. But yeah, hopefully he doesn't get too many more injuries. He's not improved much in the last year since we agreed to sign him. And the final player we picked up is Esteval, one of the best young players in Football Manager this year. Really good determination, really, really good physical. Some nice technicals as well. Not ready for the first team by any means, but we'll send him on a language course. We'll probably plonk him in the under-21s and he'll have fun down there. Arsenal have made a bid for Cucurella. I did promise him I'd sell him if I got a bid of 39 million. They've bid what is potentially worth 54 million. It's guaranteed to be worth 43 million. I am going to take that, I think. Because the transfer window has now just opened for English clubs. So if there's any English clubs wanting any of my players, now's the time to make some bids. Conor Gallagher wants to leave. I've got some very good young centre mids coming through. Is there anyone wanting to make a bid? Apparently someone might make a bid of 42 million. Invite them over. I want that bid now. Chalobah might be attracting some interest as well. I do feel like with Moscardo in our team, I kind of don't need Chalobah as well. If we just compare him with Moscardo, where is Moscardo? I found him. I went to his profile. Then I can just find Chalobah. When you compare the two of them, very, very similar. Given that Gabriel is 19, if I can get a lot of money for Chalobah, probably would be silly not to take it. They are basically the same player. Granted, one of them is 6 years younger. Apparently a team might bid 28 million, to be honest. Kind of fine with that. Yeah, make that bid. I do still kind of want to sell Mudryk. There's no immediate interest in him. I mean, his rating this year was even worse than the year before. I've given him lots of chances as well. I do feel like the fact he's on £150,000 is going to make him difficult to shift. He's got 5 years left on his contract still as well. Leeds United and AC Milan have made bids for Alex Scott. How much have they offered? They've approached to sign him at... Wait, his contract is just expiring. Why was I not aware of this sooner? Yeah, I'm going to make this bid. Okay, he's happy to be a squad player and become a regular starter. How much money do I need to throw at him? I'm going full Chelsea here. I'll give him 150 grand. 150 grand, and if you play 30 league games for us, I'll put you on 175. I'll give your agent £1 million. If you stick around for a little bit... 7.5 million. Look, Alex Scott on a free transfer. English, amazing, can play defensive mid. I mean, if I'm selling players like Gallagher and Chalobah, I can get this guy in as a free as an alternative. That would be incredible. Speaking of which, bids for Chalobah. Barcelona and Liverpool have made bids. I'm going to accept the Barcelona bid and reject the Liverpool one. I'd rather not sell him to a divisional rival elsewhere. Gallagher's had some offers. Mine's in the second division of Germany have offered 42 million. I fear he might turn them down. I will let him also talk to Tottenham. But yeah, if Gallagher's leaving for 42 million and I can pick up Alex Scott in blue on a free transfer, I feel like that would be good business. I feel like no one could tell me otherwise. Like, there is literally no argument here, is there? It's the biggest no-brainer ever. I mean, you are going to have to forgive me here. Is there other players with contracts expiring in a month that I'm just not aware of that I should be making bids on that are interested? Callum Wilson, probably not the kind of player we're looking for. Sorting by potential, okay, Alex Scott is just the standout player. Tommy Doyle of Man City, not a bad centre mid, to be fair. Probably not good enough to justify spending the big bucks on. And even in terms of the players that I've got scouted, sorted by ability, Alex Scott, he is just the best of the bunch, I think. There's a bloke called Peter, just Peter, who plays for Real Madrid. He's available. Not sure why he's worth between 30 and 35 million. That is definitely fake news. He's awful. I think what I'm realising here is that Alex Scott is just the best of all the players here, and everyone else is rather... I'm not going to say bad, just not what we need. I mean, we've currently got £100 million in sales going on with Chalobah, Cucurella and Gallagher. I feel like if we get Alex Scott in, we have Moscardo to replace Chalobah, I would almost be replacing two of these three players with transfers that are either free or players that are already here. I'm just promoting some of the better youngsters in our currency. We've got Moscardo, Nipan, who I kind of forgot about. He's on loan at Rosenborg. When do we get him back from Rosenborg? Is it in January or is it sooner? It is at the end of the year. Okay, never mind. You can go back to the under-21s. But we've got Kendry Pires, Moscardo, Andre Santos. They're basically all new signings, aren't they? Estevao and Echeverri, maybe not quite ready for the first team, but certainly in the case of Echeverri, I wouldn't mind playing him in the Club World Cup just to see what he can do. Cassidy had a good loan spell at Ipswich, but to be honest, given his value now, I feel like I probably should sell him. And I am actually thinking the same with Fofana. I know he just got 25 goals in the Championship, but I think it could be a case of kind of sell him while he's hot. Bournemouth are now making a bid for Scott as well. Should I offer him a bit more money? I feel like, given the fact we're signing him on, well, it's a free transfer. We do have to pay them £2 million. I probably can afford to just give him a little bit more if he wants it. I am now just ramming a load of bonuses in his contract. If we win a Champions League, mate, I'll give you another £1 million as well. How does that sound? I feel like I really am just enacting like Chelsea, throwing stupid money at youngsters and hoping they'll agree to come to me. Just as I'm getting into a transfer-y kind of mood, I need to take off my transfer special hat, put it on the side. We got Tigres to play, which means we've got an away day. Brace yourselves, folks. It's the first of FM24. We're heading to South Korea. I do feel like at this point I should explain what an away day is for the new viewers, because you're probably a bit confused if you're just seeing me on Google Maps here. Essentially, with the Let's Plays that I do here, I like to kind of give a glimpse into some of the real clubs that we're playing. And so we go on Google Maps and do away days. When we have games away from home, we'll travel to wherever they are, whatever save game I'm doing, check out the stadium and see what's going on around it, and then rate the stadium. Of course, we've not been doing that for the Premier League, mostly because I want to save some of them for when we do our English Let's Play down in the lower leagues and eventually climb our way up to the Premier League. I feel like it's worth saving some English away days. But today feels like a pretty good occasion to go to Incheon and we'll check out the stadium, which I realise I have no idea where it is. Okay, here we are. We have the Incheon Munhak Stadium. There is a children's museum next to it for children. It's not a museum about children. There's dinosaurs. There is what I assume is a baseball field next to it. And, well, this view makes it look very green. I realise I'm a bit rusty with away days. I can just click the satellite view. Here we get a better look. There's a running track. The old enemy of the away day. It returns. At least it's blue. That's a bit more exciting than the regular red running tracks. We've got what I think is field hockey on one side. There is then, I assume this is just another backup football pitch. Then baseball. Yeah, baseball is quite big in Korea and Japan, if I'm not mistaken. So it kind of makes sense. The area around the stadium looks absolutely wicked. There is the Park Tae-hwan Literature Pool. It is a swimming pool. I have no idea why it's called a literature pool. Maybe there's books at the bottom of it. I'll be honest, never been on Google Street View in Korea before. Do we have options in South Korea? We have some options. I want to go look at the baseball stadium. I should clarify at this point, you are just basically coming on a point-and-click adventure with me on Google Earth and Google Maps. Here is the baseball stadium. I feel like I should rate it, but what do you rate a baseball stadium on? I have no idea. I've never been to a baseball stadium. Actually, that's not even true. I have, but I still don't know what to rate it on. Nice floodlights, big screen. Wow, get me out of here. There is the expressway here. If we go on the expressway, can we look across to the stadium? The answer is no. No, we can't. Here is the outside of the stadium. I'll be honest, it looks quite gladiatorial, doesn't it? It looks like a Colosseum, although it does also look like they just forgot to put a wall on the side. I am impressed, though. It does look cool. Where's the car parking? Here's some car parking. If you don't know, car parking is the essential thing that all away days must have. Fantastic car park, actually, all the way around the edge. Very big fan. Not sure there's enough car parking, but it satisfies my criteria. There is one dot in the stadium. We're going to jump inside it. This is not the stadium. There are trampolines. What else we got going on? It's not quite Disneyland, is it? But there is a Viking boat, which, you know what? I've been to Scandinavia. They do look just like this. I am now concerned we might not be able to go inside the stadium, which does affect the away day score. Here's some footage of the car park. They've not picked the most spectacular of days, have they, to really showcase the stadium. What I will say is, appreciate the trees and the greenery and the car park again. It is hard to judge the stadium based on this. Now, I don't want to complain here, but South Korea is known for technology, right? A very sophisticated nation, very cutting edge, it feels like. Can someone explain to them how to do photospheres? There were 3 photospheres outside the stadium. This was one of them. Like, I feel like the standards for what can be submitted to Google Maps is slipping. Desperate times call for desperate measures. We're going on Google Earth. I nearly went to North Korea there. No, we're heading to Incheon. And I'm hoping at some point the stadium is going to appear in view and I can just find it. I should have paid more attention to where I got put before. Found it. Can we have a look at it in 3D? No, we can't. Didn't even get to look at the museum for children, did we? I wanted to go look at the dinosaurs. I'm just looking at dinosaur pictures now. Here is the museum. I mean, it looks like a lovely time. It's quite contrasting with my current mood, isn't it, really? Look at them, they all look like having a lovely time and I'm miserable about my away day. I hope the next stadium that we're going to is better than this one. What is the next stadium we're at? What other stadiums are we going to? We've got a game at the Jeonju World Cup Stadium, which I'm going to take a wild stab was built for the World Cup. Jeonbuk play there now. And then who do we play Wydad Casablanca in? It's the Incheon Stadium. We got the Incheon Stadium twice. The away day has been ruined. It's the beautiful thing about away days. Sometimes they're very good, sometimes they're very not so good. Of course, they will be resuming on the regular with Parc de Prem when we start that in the next few weeks. And beyond that, I am going to do a save, I think, in Japan later on in the year. That could be very fun with away days, couldn't it? I feel like there is carnage with me being let loose in Japan. We'll admit now, that is a sentence that with absolutely no context sounds mental. I need to sort out my team here, don't I? Give me a moment. Tigre is good. They've got Diego Lainez as their key man. Of course, tried to forge a career in Europe. I don't know if he's actually gone back to Mexico in real life, but he doesn't intimidate me and he is their best player. So for this game, I am actually going to lean into using some of the younger players. Moscardo is going to make his first ever appearance for the club. Have got him set to play deep line playmaker. He is not a playmaker. We'll set a personalised instruction for him to be a defensive midfielder on support. Elsewhere, Echeverry is going to start out on the left-hand side as an inside forward. Has some really good first touch. His physicals aren't the craziest, but at 19 years old, it's a chance to give him some first team football. Ardagula is going to play at centre attacking mid. Victor Roque out on the right, giving some of these younger players a real chance just to play a ton. There were a couple of other players I would have liked to have played, like Paez and Estevao. They're both on holiday. I mean, could someone call them up and tell them that they're needed? Like, who let them book holiday for this long? The Club World Cup is a bit weird in Football Manager and in real life. Of course, they've got the new expanded format coming in real life, where it happens every 4 years and there's this bigger group stage and stuff, which is what we're going through now. Used to be, 4 to 6 teams, I think, from around the world met up and played in kind of October, November. That is all changing. I assume it's for marketing and money reasons. But these are the kind of games in Football Manager. Sometimes your players have some weird fitness issues with the Club World Cup. On top of that, they often end up being mismatches. So, yeah, quite how much of the match I'm going to show here, we'll see. I might recap it so we get back to transfer stuff. It's 1-0 after 5 minutes. The worst thing here as well is, if I'm not mistaken, like we're scoring goals like Ferguson has here, because the season's not ticked over, like in June time, all the player stats reset. Any goals that are scored now aren't going to count towards our total for season 3. They're all going to be forgotten about. So it's not even like we're already stat padding properly here. We've taken the lead early on. We're looking for another. Ardagula, what can you make happen here? Moscardo, Ferguson, probably should have made it 2. Half-time in this game, kind of figured the floodgates would open after we got a goal ahead. It's not what's happened. It is only 1-0. You can see from the stats, though, it has been very one-way traffic. I'm going to get shouty. Hopefully we see a little bit more in the second half. It's really hard to judge how well players have played, although Moscardo is on a 7.6, so at least he's playing well on his debut. Echeverry, slightly less so, 6.7 for him. 15 minutes left in this game. It is still only 1-0. I've just made a quadruple change to try and get that second goal. I'm still not feeling too threatened, but there is a little bit of discomfort about how this game's played out. If we could get a goal now, we've got Nkunku, Sterling and Rooney on the pitch. That would be nice. Casado has also come on for Mason Mount in that Segundo Volante role. I'm hoping that with a bit more quality behind Ferguson, maybe we get a goal. We've got the goal. I think it might be offside, I'm not going to celebrate. The players, they look sad, don't they? The body language looks sad there. Do they know something? They do know something. It's offside. How much added time is there going to be? 4 minutes. 3 minutes left of it. We have a corner. Rooney's going to whip it in. Fofana Can't get his header away, although Rooney's still with it in a dangerous area. Could hit it on his left foot, lays it off to Nkunku. He scored a couple of bangers yesterday. He scored another one here. It's 2-0. That's game over. Very happy with that performance. We get the win. I think 2 teams make out the group stage. Realise not actually checked the format of this competition, which is something you should probably do. But alas, we've won our first game. It looks like River Plate are going to be our big rivals in terms of team that might cause us issues in this group stage. Moscardo actually picked up man of the match. Give him some praise. That is a good sign. Chalobah, pack your bags. You can leave. Just consulting the rules here. Top 2 teams make it out the group. Goal difference, then goals scored is the league sorting rules, then discipline record. So don't get sent off, don't get yellow cards, and then from there it is, from the looks of things, a straight knockout with various rounds and then a third place kind of playoff and a final if needed. I'd like to think we make it to the final. I want to claim there's some big prize money in this competition. You get 4 million if you win it. It's not really the big bucks. Right, it's time to put my transfer hat back on. I realised that in this competition, all the Saudi Arabian clubs are in it. I've been selling loads of players to Saudi Arabia in my various Football Manager save games, thinking, well, they're not going to affect me. It's not going to bother me. I realise in this competition that could actually happen. I mean, Harry Kane is playing for Al Hilal, just as a reminder. And elsewhere, Inter Milan have just lost to Palmeiras. That is embarrassing for Inter. I mean, massive result for the Brazilian club. Fair play. I realise if we're selling £100 million worth of players and we've got £40 million in the transfer budget, I probably should be looking at players to sign. I mean, Neymar is transfer listed by request at PSG. I think the wages are probably going to be a problem. Also not entirely sure he's what we need. I'm looking at my squad thinking, actually, what do I need? Where would I improve the squad? I feel like, I was going to say centre mid, but we already have a really good centre mid. I actually don't know what I want to improve. Is that a good problem or a bad problem? I feel like I should have thought about that more before the transfer window opened. I don't know if I'm the only person who does this, but to help me with my own squad management, Cucurella, Gallagher, Chalobah, you're all leaving the club. You can go piss off in the under-21s. Are they unhappy? Are they crying? They're crying. Decline. Don't want to talk to you. Go enjoy your transfers. So this is our first team at the moment. There are a few younger players here who I would like to have trained with the first team, but realistically probably won't be mainstays of the first team, at least when it comes to, Premier League games. In the Club World Cup, I don't mind giving Echeverry some minutes, but if we assume that the top 3 here, Paez, Esteval, Echeverry will be with the under-21s, I think Moscardo will be promoted. I mean, we've got Santos coming back. I've got to get rid of Cassidy, haven't I? I think I've got to get rid of Cassidy as well. I think we'll be looking to sell him. What is our squad size like with these players? 26 players. I am just looking at players sorted by ability. Jude Bellingham is still at Dortmund. How much are they going to want? 233 million. Yeah, not sure about. I mean, I am sure he's worth that money. I'm just not sure we can afford it. It's quite a lot, isn't it? Camavinga would be quite fun as a left-back option, but he's already on £400,000 a week, which is just absolutely madness. Kylian Mbappe is still just showing up at the top of this list. It's tempting me. It's mocking me. It's tempting me. I need to resist. If I'm selling Cucurella, I might need a left-back. Would Alphonso Davies be a terrible idea? He's one of those players who, when you look at his polygon and some of his attributes, he doesn't look that amazing, but his physicals are so good and they eat up a ton of his current ability. He's pretty versatile as well, being able to play down the line. I mean, if we compare him with Chilwell is going to be better defensively, but going forward, Davies could be an insane option to have. £94 million for him. This might be really unpopular. I'm really tempted by that. He's a player who I am a bit of a fanboy of in real life, which may well be impacting my decision-making here. But ultimately, I do feel like we are going to need a left-back of sorts with us looking to sell Cucurella. And given the kind of fee we're going to have to pay for him, I think he's probably worth a punt. He could go on the bench. He could also be an option to bring on in a more attacking sense as well. When we're chasing games, I think he could be vital. The price they want might be a problem. I'm going to suggest this offer here. 95 million. They want nearer 200. Yeah, you know what? It might be a fanboy of him. Even I know this is mental. They're going to want like 140 million, I reckon. Just for my own sanity, I'm just going to check. Would they have accepted 130 million? No. Nah, okay, yeah, this deal is not happening. Okay, game number 2 today, River Plate. Now, I know technically that this is a game where we're playing at a different stadium to the one that we played at before. We're going to do the John Dew away day next episode instead of doing, well, no away day, if that makes sense. I feel like we should space out the away days and save them, and also I want to get some more transfery stuff done. And if we do an away day as well, this video will probably end immediately after the River Plate game. I want transfers. I am, for this game, going to play a significantly more rotated team. I think we'll keep Moscardo in the team, mind you, but yeah, we might as well give everyone a game. We should be going through this game comfortably. If there are any away day purists upset at the fact that the away day for this match is going to be done when we're playing at the stadium we've already played at next episode, get a grip. Is that too much? It might be too much. Rooney scored after 3 minutes. Yeah, it'll be fine. You get an away day tomorrow. There'll be one person who's very upset. I'm sorry to that person. So we've got notice ahead early in this game. River Plate won their opening game against Wydad Casablanca really, really comfortably. If we win this game, pretty much confirmed through into the knockout stages. So yeah, if we could win this game here, I would probably play like the worst team possible for the final group stage game so that I can play a fully fit team of the best players for the knockout stages. I have played down this competition. I'd really like to win the Club World Cup. I feel like that would be quite fun, and winning this game handsomely would help towards that. Mudryk, I thought he was going to score. Then maybe we would have got a bid on him. He's at the crossbar. River Plate on the attack here. Do I need to be worried? I was just like chilled out watching the game, not even talking, thinking nothing's going to happen here. They're on the attack. Ball just turned. Boy, you scored. It's 1-1 after 33 minutes. I'm getting complacent. Maybe the players are getting complacent too. I can't believe we've let him just turn in the penalty area like that. Not particularly great marking. 3 players trying to block that shot. None of them could manage it, and neither could the keeper. Half-time, 1-1. I mean, we've probably been the better team, although we've had 30% of the ball. They've had 70% of it. Wasn't even paying attention to the stats. That is tragic. Right, you know what? I'm going to do something I've seen a few people do, and I did it a little bit last year, but not nearly enough. I'm going to go from positive to balanced for the instructions. I'm also going to just tell the players to slow down the play and play the ball out from the back a little bit more. Let's just chill a little bit. Let's hold on to the ball a little bit more. Value possession. They had 70% of it in the first half, so if we want to make it swing to 50-50, we need to have a similar amount in the second half. If it swings more in our favour, I'll know it's going okay. Mount should have scored there, shouldn't he? Well, the instructions I made to try and get us more possession have not worked. We have, however, got a set piece here. Taken short. Max Aaron scores. It's the inverted wing-back on attack again. I mean, Reece James got top goal scorer from that in the Premier League. Now Max Aaron's is doing it. We're 2-1 up. We've had less possession in the second half than the first half, but they have only mustered up 1 shot on target. And Kunku, Max Aaron's, pulls the trigger. Bish, bash, bosh. It's in the back of the net. Now, they're having a load of possession without creating anything. I think they're playing mega defensive here. So, in order to help with our pressing, I'm bringing on another striker. Victor Roque, on you come, my friend. You're going to play as a pressing forward on attack. I'm going to make a few further changes as well here. Echeverry on for Nkunku. Give him some more minutes. On the right-hand side as well, I'm going to bring in Madueke. He may well be on his way out the door if anyone shows any interest in him. Let's put him in the shop window here. Hopefully, he doesn't get injured. If he gets injured now, it really is curse the commentator. I am hoping that with a second player up front, it will just help with our pressing a little bit more when it comes to trying to get the possession off the opposition. We'll see if anything comes of it here, as Diaz is going to have it for them. And now, well, they play it out from that press. They're carving us open. They're actually playing quite a nice football. Colwell puts in a tackle, but Diorio, who was involved for their first goal, is bringing it forward here. I'm scared. I'm nervous. It's blocked by Colwell. I don't know how much he knew about it, and we live to fight another day. Until now. Another day is now. Minutes later. They're playing out from the back again. They're playing annoyingly good football. I'll give it to them. Funes Mori, did he used to play for Everton, or am I thinking of someone else? He's there. Armani's there. They're doing all this passing around the back. I can see why they're in a load of possession. On this occasion, they're not going to get it forward. Mason Mount wins it. Madueke with the ball. Let's get a third goal of the game for us. Echeverry, options in the middle, lays it inside. Victor Roque, shots blocked. Abraham's header is saved. It is still only a 1-goal game. We have been in mostly control, even if we've not had possession. They've not created a ton of shots, but they have shown an ability to go forward. So with that in mind, I would like to get a goal here. Chilwell, Echeverry, Abraham. Oh my word. Is he onside? If he's onside, that's an incredible goal. It'd be a great little assist for Echeverry to get. Not the most complicated. It was all about the Tammy Abraham finish. He was in some great goal scoring form to end the season in the league. Continues that form here at the Club World Cup. Didn't start the last game. Ferguson got the nod. And, well, he's maybe put himself in the fray to start with the big games and the knockout stages, because that there is a stupendous finish. Echeverry, by the way, used to play for River Plate, the youngster. We poached him from River Plate. Now he's assisting against them. Oh my word. They've just scored a bang. Wasn't even paying attention. I thought we dealt with the corner. I thought this was like a pointless corner highlight. Nacho whipped it in. It's headed out. And then Mamana, who I think used to be a Football Manager wonder kid like 10 years ago, he's just spanked it into the top corner. That is silly. Is it the Mamana I'm thinking of? I think he went to Russia for a bit. Mamana? Yeah. Yeah, it is the Mamana. Yeah, this guy was a really good wonder kid back in the day. Some of you are nodding along thinking, yeah, I remember this bloke. He's got 6 long shots. Of course, he scored that banger. Okay, 3 minutes left here. It is 3-2. We are going to get the win, he says. There's a highlight beginning. Ref, can we just blow the whistle? We've played 10 seconds too many. I mean, if anything's going to happen here, it looks like it might be another goal for us. So maybe it's fine. Moscardo, Abraham, plays it forward. Mason Mount cutting through the middle, pulls the trigger, makes it 4-2, makes it a little more convincing than this result really was. Echeverry gets one over on River. 4-2 result there. Puts us in pole position to make out the group. We have 6 points after 2 games. We're pretty much there. Didn't talk over it while it was going on. I did have a look at Saka while I was looking at Jude Bellingham. Saka listed as not for sale. Apparently his agent is kind of interested. I'm not sure I'm that interested in Saka. I mean, maybe if I sell Raheem Sterling and have a load of money, have a sneaking suspicion he's going to cost more than I can afford. Bid from Saudi Arabia for Raheem Sterling. How much is it? £75 million. His value has dropped a little bit during this episode, I think, Sterling. I think it was like 90 million earlier on when we offered him to the Saudi clubs. They've now bid 75. He's 30. He's on £350,000. I feel like we've got Fati and we've got Nkunku, who are both obviously similar molds of players. If I can get anything over 100 million, I think I'd probably take it here. I'm gonna be greedy. I'm gonna ask for 150 million off the bat. They've not told me no immediately, which I kind of thought they were going to do there, because that was outrageous from me, I'll admit it. I was sneakily thinking, well, if they reject it, then it's the start of the summer. It's the 17th of June. Like, we normally start transfer specials around this point, but with the Club World Cup, it's thrown everything out of whack today. My thinking was, if I asked for 150 million and they told me piss off, well, at least then I have the whole of the summer still to obviously try and entice them back in. I'll ask for 125. They've offered 90. How about 90 now and 50 in a year? I mean, it's annoying I don't get 50 million right away, but I feel like I'd be silly not to take that offer. That's a ridiculous offer, isn't it? Bye, Raheem. Have a lovely time. I don't know why I'm waving. I'm waving him off. We'll pack his bags. We'll pay for the jet. Oh, I can't believe that. I mean, the Saudi teams have more money than sense in Football Manager. I guess you could argue that that's realistic. If Sterling goes, we are going to be without our kind of left-sided inside forward. Although I guess the argument is Ansu Fati would be that player who slots in there. Then the argument, I suppose, is that you can just promote Rooney to be the regular starter in that position, right? He is probably our best left-footed kind of inside forward on that right-hand side. In fact, do we even have a left-footed player on the right-hand side? I've played in Nkunku there, who has a fairly strong foot, and also Fati. In fact, Fati played, 40 games on the right-hand side, cutting in on his left. He actually played well out there too. The injury proneness of Fati and Nkunku is a concern, but with the money we're about to get, I'm going to go see what we could get. Who could we get? What is there out there? I mean, Yeremy Pino is very, very good in Football Manager. Very, 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 very good in Football Manager. 22 years old. Can't see how many caps he's got for Spain because his ear's in the way, but I'm going to assume it's 13. It could be 23. It must be 13, right? Information, let's check, is 13. He is good. Is he great? Is he exciting? I don't know if he's exciting. We'll get a scout report. I want someone who can play out on the right-hand side, and for their footedness, they need to have a very strong left foot. Who is out there? Who could we pick up? There's Saka. Bernardo Silva, Sane. Elise is on the younger side of things, Dembele. And then it drops off quite abruptly. If I sort by value, is there any more exciting players here? Not really. World reputation. I mean, someone like Asensio keeps being offered to me, but I'm not sure he's necessarily the answers. Although, he is good. It's just the physicals are a bit meh. How much do Arsenal want for Saka? How much do they want? I'll offer 100 and see what they negotiate. Never mind. Marseille have made a bid for Tomori. I'm going to reject it. I don't really feel like selling Tomori. He didn't exactly have the best season in the world for us. He sat on the bench a lot, but I don't know if we would have signed as an alternative, and I'm willing to show some patience. He came through the Chelsea Academy. We need him for the homegrown at club quota. I say that. Do we actually need him for the homegrown at club quota? Not 100%, but to be honest, if I did end up selling someone like Mount, then yeah, he would actually be useful. This is very exciting. Alex Scott has agreed to join us. I did pay him quite a lot of money to come to us as a squad player, but 21 years old, English potential future international, crazy potential, good current ability, mega versatile. Not sure he is our answer for the right-hand-sided conundrum, but with his mentals, with his physicals, with his technicals that he's got, well, I mean, it's a free transfer. You literally cannot complain about this as a signing, can you? Unfortunately, he doesn't join us until the 1st of July, so we can't enjoy him in Chelsea blue in today's episode. And right on cue, Conor Gallagher heading to Tottenham. £42 million received for Gallagher at the same time we're signing Scott on a free transfer. That is very much the art of the deal. I'm being asked to follow up on my interest in Alphonso Davies. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. I'll scout him some more. Chalobah is on his way to Barcelona for £28.5 million, and Cucurella on his way to Arsenal. You know what? I am probably going to need to find a left back, but Cucurella hasn't exactly been near our first team, hasn't exactly played well when he's been in our first team. Somewhat surprised we were able to get as much money as we have for him. I agreed I was going to sell him for 35 million earlier on in the year, so yeah, the amount of money we have got for him feels good. Those deals have all now been done. Look at the transfer budget. 147 million to spend. And that's without this bloke leaving. I wonder if he'll leave before we wrap things up today. I say before we wrap things up today because we're not going to do the Wydad Casablanca game today. We are going to save that for tomorrow. We'll kick things off with that game and the away day. Then I suppose we'll deal with the whole Raheem Sterling being sold situation, which, I mean, we don't have to deal with it tomorrow because we can deal with it today. The board have agreed that 133 million will be added onto the transfer budget. Yeah, except wave him off, everyone. See you, Raheem the Dream. 140 million for him. I don't think anyone would say no to that. I did notice it a second ago in the corner of my eye. You might have caught it while I was talking about something else. Real Madrid just won 19-0. They've won 19-0 against Tafia. I don't even know where Tafia are. Where are Tafia? They're from Vanuatu. Right, here's their key player. Yeah, this Club World Cup format is going to be mental in real life. 19-0. I mean, that does feel harsh, doesn't it? I've got a transfer budget of £237 million. Tomorrow we are feasting. Tomorrow we are going to have some fun. I don't know who I'm going to sign or what I'm going to do. I couldn't, could I? Could I? Probably couldn't afford him. Okay, it's 10 p.m. In game, it's 10 p.m. I don't know why we're kicking off at 10 p.m. I guess it's a time zone thing. We are going to wrap things up there for today. We have Wydad Casablanca to kick things off next time and another South Korean away day. Chalobah's left the club. Cucurella's left the club. Gallagher's left the club. But in their places, we've got players. Moscardo comes in for Chalobah. Alex Scott joins us. He is going to be a mad signing when he arrives. I don't know about anyone else. I'm very excited for the upcoming season. I think it's going to be a good time. But I'll tell you what's even more exciting, the prospect of tomorrow's transfer special, because I've got bloody money to spend. Now, naturally, today's transfer special has been a little bit weird and different with the Club World Cup. I hope you've enjoyed it nevertheless. I feel like it's always worth experimenting, especially during the beta period, with different video formats for these Let's Play videos. Today has been slightly different one. If you have enjoyed things today, do make sure to drop a like on the video, help support the channel, leave a comment down below. What position would I be strengthening or should I be strengthening? Where would you spend the 200 million? Look forward to reading your thoughts. Other than that, back tomorrow, same time and place, another away day awaits. I'll see you guys then. I'm out.